Thomas Kinkade's death launches dispute over legacy. Let's actually check this. This is a short video.
You may not recognize the name of Thomas Kinkade, but chances are you know his work. He is one of the top-selling artists ever. It's estimated that his paintings are in 1 out of every 20 American homes. As Aaron Moriarty shows us, Kinkade's sudden death has touched off a serious dispute over his legacy, I'll say.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about his art, I have to say. Good morning. Thomas Kinkade was proud to be called the painter of light. He even trademarked the phrase. But many were shocked to learn after his death just this past April that Kinkade's own life was much darker than the idyllic images that he put on canvas.
This is the first public exhibit of Thomas.
A painter's life is dark, right, Kevin? Oh, you got a Kinkade? That's fucking cool.
Kinkade's work since his death in April, and his fans, 2,000 strong, couldn't wait to get a look.
The detail, and the colors.
Lingering over the glowing windows in cottages, castles, and lighthouses.
He was able to make light pop like this, and then he figured that out and just capitalized the fuck out of it.
That make up the artist's massive collection.
It speaks to their soul. It makes them feel affirmed. It makes them feel comforted.
Kinkade's younger brother, Patrick, came to unveil one of his final works.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Is this honestly the first time you've seen this?
This is honestly the first time I've seen it.
Kinkade never believed in the notion of the suffering artist, and this one depicts the same kind of peaceful setting that established him as the painter of light.
Despite his own frailty, Tom was able to still communicate in a very, very profound, positive way.
Absolutely. I mean, his style is unforgettable. Nice lighthouse, bro. Yeah. Just lighthouse after lighthouse after lighthouse.
He was struggling more than this painting seems to indicate.
Well, a lot of people in their art and paintings it's a projection of how they feel or what they want and how they desire or what they're trying to reach.
My brother.
And maybe he's just incredibly uncomfortable.
Was a good person, but he struggled with his own demons.
Thomas Kinkade's death at age 54 from an accidental overdose of alcohol and Valium.
Ooh, this dude was, talk about comforting.
Began a series of shocking revelations. Within days, Kinkade's girlfriend, Amy Pinto, produced 2 documents
Pinto bean.
She claims he wrote, giving her 2 homes, $10 million, and control over his art.
What?
The documents are known as holographic wills because they were handwritten but not notarized. They are now the focus of a bitter court battle between Pinto and Kinkade's wife, Nanette.
Oh, Jesus. I bet she didn't get shit.
Who had separated from her husband but never divorced him.
Oh, drama.
Rick Barnett, a family friend for 20 years, believes Kinkade still loved his wife and would never disinherit his kids.
In no way, shape, or form.
He just wanted to paint, man. He got rich as hell.
Can I imagine that? That he would cut his family out or give consideration to someone other than his family.
He wanted to go party. He was like a rapper.
His 4 daughters
in the contemporary paint world.
His wife meant the world to Tom.
Kinkade's wife and children are still prominently featured in a new video tribute on Kinkade's own website.
Ooh, classic beret. Real painter. I never knew what he looked like. He looks like his paintings. He just looks like an average Joe.
And the estate they built together is estimated to be well above $60 million. At the height of his fame 10 years ago, Kinkade was mass-producing his art in factories, adding a few final touches and a quick signature, selling.
That's what we need to do, Kevin. Let's start mass-producing your artwork.
A framed canvas for up to
you just sign it.
$50,000. When Morley Safer sat down.
Look at that shit. That's at his factory.
Factories, adding a few final touches and a quick signature, selling a framed canvas for up to $50,000.
Good Lord. How the fuck do I do that?
Morley Safer sat down with him for 60 minutes. Kinkade had built a brand with a family values theme.
We view my work and my cultural identity in a way as heir to the Walt Disney kind of tradition.
But that cultural identity became tarnished by Kinkade's 2010 DUI arrest and the breakup of his marriage.
Things
Tradition.
But that cultural DUI arrest.
Oh boy, rough night.
And the breakup of his marriage.
Things fell apart, and when they fell apart, it seemed like they fell apart very fast.
Writer Susan Orlean says the man everyone knew was acting completely out of character.
Acting bizarrely in public, including urinating on a
Solo? Yeah, I mean, shit, if you get an opportunity like that with your artwork, it's hard not to. Okay, he was urinating. He went back to his old, he was trying to get inspired and go to some gnarly artwork.
Acting
as the man everyone knew was acting completely out of character.
Acting bizarrely in public, including urinating on a statue at Disneyland.
He was just having a fucking fun-ass time.
He moved Amy Pinto into the family home near San Jose, California. And for now, she's staying put. A security team guards the house to make sure none of Kinkade's art is removed, while the courts decide whether the man who could work with such precision
I need a pencil person, please.
and sign his name with a
The hand, man. Such power in it.
steady hand could have signed off on this.
It's hard to believe that someone who did this, don't you think?
No, it's not. I mean, that's a whole different thing. Writing like that sometimes is not fun. It's like, get this shit over with.
I don't know what this is. I do know what that is, and that's Tom's legacy.
And are you concerned about who will end up controlling your brother's work ultimately?
I think he wrote that.
I mean, because isn't that what...
I think ultimately what will happen is the right will win out.
And what is right?
That the people who loved him will control it.
His family.
Exactly.
The people that loved him. What about the people he loved?
I want to start by talking about these unusual handwritten wills. Do they hold up in court?
Well, I think people will be surprised to know that these holographic wills, totally handwritten without, notarized signatures, actually are valid in about half the states. And this is actually getting Amy Pinto a hearing in probate court.
Oh, he totally
And she said she's going to have proof that he wrote.
He was drunk as shit writing that.
It. But here's what the family says. Well, maybe he did write it, although you saw that handwriting.
It barely seems legible.
So they're going to say that either he was under the influence, and we know that he had been drinking a lot the last year and a half of his life, or he was unduly influenced. They don't say by who. So there's going to be a battle. Now, the next court hearing, I believe, is in September, and I think the family's going to try to get it out of an open court and into arbitration. They don't want to share all of this with us.
Yeah, it's always a dicey situation when there's a wife and a girlfriend together. And any
She's like, yeah, I'm sure they've been a part of it in many
circumstance. Is she entitled to anything at all?
I think this is so interesting. As part of the separation agreement, which happened not to be completely executed, he was entitled to the house. So she may end up with the house, but here's the bad part with that house. There's a lot of debt on that house. So even if Amy Pinto ends up with the home and the studio, which is part of it, I think it's in debt almost 3/4 of its worth.
And
Tom was a player. I mean, dude, it's hard not to be with all that money.
here's the other question. His paintings were selling for a lot, as you pointed out. Does this messy dispute here affect the value of his work?
Well, I thought it might, especially the fact that he was this painter of light, and in fact, he led a very different life. But whenever
dude, they want, like, the world demands that you're just perfect. Like, shut up. Like, maybe the guy liked to get drunk and piss on shit. Is that so bad that our favorite painter just needed an escape? At least he was at Disneyland.
an artist dies, I think the value goes up. And it seemed like when I went to the show on Saturday, I mean, thousands of people came in to see his work. So I don't think it will affect the value, but certainly it means that there's a lot at stake in this probate hearing.
So had he been with his girlfriend for a long time? Were he and the wife separated for a very long time?
No, just a year and a half. And to be honest, he, what I hear from friends, and admittedly I'm just hearing, he had been dragging his heels on the divorce. He still loved his wife.
He was tired of it. He wanted to go splurge.
It's messy.
Yeah, very
Spend that
very
money.
messy. Thank you, Aaron.
That's awesome. I actually want to eventually watch a longer one about him. You know, it's interesting. I think it's interesting how he got into it and all that shit. Bro pissed on a Mickey statue. Is that true or not? I don't know. I don't know if that's actually in the news. I think maybe that's hearsay. Who was that? His wife? Who fucking knows, dude? Who knows who those people are anymore? Randos just pop up and they're like, oh yeah, he did this, that, he was known for this. I heard he beat women with a baseball bat.